What's up guys, Koma here, and I have another Destiny 2 build. This one's coming much faster compared to the last few, especially with the last one I just did, which was my hunter, my Strand Hunter, which I will also be, linking that in the description and such if you want to go take a look at that. But this time we have Warlock. So this is a build that I quickly made as a backup ad clear, just in case I needed it back for contest mode Crota. But this build is a lot of fun because we're taking big use out of the brand new Dead Messenger with the demo on it. So this is the new craftable version. Um, Unfortunately, this is out of the rotation as of recording this, but I think next week should be Dead Man's Tale again, and then the week after, which would be week 5, it would be returning, so you can then pick it up. But if you do have the original Dead Messenger without the crafted, you can also use that. You're just going to be missing out on the Demolitionist. So let's go ahead and start off, where we started off last time, right in the subclass. We're running Electrostatic Mind, where if we defeat blind or jolted targets, it creates an Ionic Trace, and collecting Ionic Trace makes me amplified. And Arc Soul, when you cast your Rift, you obtain an Arc Soul, and while you're amplified, your Arc Soul is supercharged. Allies can pass through and also pick them up, but your Rift charges faster when allies are near, actually. I didn't know that. And then we're going on to the Pulse Grenade, which is your kind of go-to grenade. If you're not running Pulse, then you're probably running Arc Bolt or even Storm. So that's totally your call there. We have Ball Lightning, which is kind of your long-range melee. I like it over Disorienting. Or not Disorienting, it's called Chain. But if you want Chain, you're welcome to run that too. I'm just using Healing Rift. If you feel comfortable running Powering Rift and you want some high uptime on Powering Rift, go for it. Of course, we're just going to run Chaos Reach. There's nothing crazy about Storm Trance. Chaos Reach got a huge buff. I believe it was last season when we had some more Arc stuff going on in Season of the Deep. So Chaos Reach is heavily viable, especially with the net exotic that I'm currently wearing, and we'll cover that in a moment. We got Spark of Shock, Recharge, Magnitude, and Beacons. So of course, Spark of Shock will jolt targets with the grenades, making an Ionic Trace. While we're critically wounded, our melee and grenade energy regenerates more quickly. That's useful in high-end content. Lingering Grenades will have extended duration. It's going to help our Pulse Grenade out, but it's also going to help Storm if you're running it. And Spark of Beacons, which is really what makes this come together. While you're amplified, your Arc special weapon Final Blows create a blinding explosion. Keep in mind, blinding enemies and defeating them also generates another Ionic Trace. And Ionic Traces is a good segue over into our boots that we were running, Geomags Stabilizers. So this season, it also got a brand new buff where if you pick up an Ionic Trace, it's like a whole 2% energy for your super, which is great because this build is generally focused around making as much ammo, or not as much ammo, but as much Ionic Traces as I physically can. And thanks to Dead Messenger, we can swap it to an Arc weapon. So this thing is absolutely insane because once you swap it over to Arc, it's a multi-wave, grenade launcher. So you can shoot around, throw a grenade, and shoot another, and your grenade will come back relatively quickly because it is a multi-frame, wave frame grenade launcher, so it's going to kill multiple opponents, and you're going to get it back very quickly. Additionally, I have the Kept Confidence Hand Cannon, which this was also something I covered in my Hunter, which also has Loose Change and Collective Action. Basically, Loose Change will make it to where if we're jolting or if we're blinding enemies via our grenade or even our Dead Messenger, we're going to be getting that reload speed buff for a short duration, as well as collecting any Ionic Trace, whether that's from our GL, our abilities, or even our Arc Soul. That Ionic Trace is going to come back, and it's going to give us some really good uptime on Collective Action. And when I say this, I always constantly had Collective Action procced, so it's a very good hand cannon to at least pick up. There are some other alternatives that you could run, but this is my favorite, just by default, especially being in the kinetic slot. Um, and our heavy, you could really run whatever arc you wanted here. You could run arc, or you could also run strand, because I have a single strand boost, strand weapon surge on. So you could run Hothead, which is my go-to rocket when running arc, but if you have one of the newly rolled Song of Iriut, such as what I have here, which is bait and switch rewind rounds, I unfortunately don't have the extended mag. This is also a very good damage weapon if you can get your hands on it. But going over to some alternatives for our exotic. First of all, we'll start at the helmet, and of course, we will have Crown of Tempest. I don't run Crown of Tempest much, which is why this thing is not at all leveled up, but it states arc ability or jolt final blows increase the recharge rate of your arc abilities and extend the duration of Storm Trance. Which you could run Storm Trance if you're going for more just ad clear by default, but the problem is that you would really only be running this thing for arc abilities, which also pulls into the next one, which is Fallen Sunstar, which is arguably better due to its additional ability energy whenever you collect Ionic Traces, and it also gives teammates ability energy when you collect an Ionic Trace. This is just overall something that helps keep your Arc Soul up at all times. And of course, we also have to talk about Vesper of Radius, because this has been something that I've seen a lot of people running on contest, actually. Basically, throughout your rift, it'll release arc shockwaves, final blows, creates an arc explosion. While arc is equipped, the shockwaves and explosions from the enemies also blind nearby targets. Rift energy recharges faster when you're surrounded by targets. Yeah, this thing's also nuts, depending on what type of content you're in. Additionally, we'll hop over into our artifact perks. Grab your first column. I would recommend these two for your second column, but you could also grab Arc Strand Siphon combo since we are running both weapons. That's something you can do. Of course, we're going to be picking up Elemental Orbs Arc, and I have Solar just to fill out that slot. Elemental Fury, Communal Pickups, Refreshing Pickups. These are your typical just pickup stuff that you want to run with. And then I'm running Monochromatic Maestro and Elemental Embrace. However, if you want to pop off Monochromatic and you can throw on something like Elemental Munitions to take use of your Elemental Orbs, that's fine. Considering Monochromatic Maestro is not that crazy unless you're, getting a kill with your GL and then popping your super, which that could work. So we're doing that. And I guess the final thing would be popping over into our mods section here and looking at what I have. I guess right here I did have one of the Strand Arc Siphons. Unfortunately, I don't have it here anymore because of the artifact swap I did not too long ago. But we're running Heavy Ammo Finder and Heavy Scout. You could run like Ashes to Assets if you want to get your super back even faster. Going on over to our arms, we have Fastball, some firepower, and some bolstering detonation to even get our class ability back faster, so we have constant uptime of our Arc Soul. Over into our chest, I'm running double resistance, but you can drop this down to 1 resistance if you want, but I'm running harmonic reserves, therefore whatever arc heavy I have on, more ammo. Going over to our boots, we have Elemental Charge, which with this build is actually nuts because, if you're generating constant amounts of Ionic Traces, then Elemental Charge and keeping your, armor charge up is very good. Harmonic Holster, you don't have to run this. You could also just, run whatever else you want in this slot. If you want more grenade uptime, more of this, it's completely your call. And I have a single strand weapon search to kind of help out my strand hand cannon a little bit. Moving over to my bond, I have time dilation, bomber, and I have a little bit of intellect along with my resilience and discipline to kind of have some good uptime on my chaos reach. So this is just a lot of fun. The GL gives it so much ad control as well. But this hand cannon is just really what makes this build kind of shine and kind of like come together, because it's still also getting buffed heavily. Overall, I really enjoy this arc build. I think it's a ton of fun, especially with Dead Messenger now getting demo. It changes how you're going to be using this GL a ton, especially in PvE content, as well as just getting your grenade back much quicker. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I have in terms of covering for the actual build itself. I'll have some gameplay, of course, and just to kind of wrap things up here, I appreciate the support that everybody's been leaving on the last few videos. If at all you guys are wanting to help support the channel, of course, subscribing goes a long way. You don't have to ring the bell, but the bell's there. Of course, liking and sharing, throw it out to friends if you want. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoy the build, and here's some gameplay. Adios, guys.
Break those void crystals to release their power.
Zebo here. Now clear these death maggots out.